Hey everyone, so we're back after a long hiatus. Most of our energy here at the HBA office has been focused on providing members with COVID-19 business resources and tools. But that doesn't mean we took a break from our legislative front. We've actually been pretty active the past few months, which during the summer isn't really a normal thing, but hey, it's 2020 and there aren't really any rules. So I have a lot of ground to cover in this update, and I'm going to condense as much of it as possible. So first off, it's St. Charles Parish, where the council recently passed Parish President Matt Jewell's request for an 18-month-long subdivision moratorium while the parish conducts a sewage and drainage study. We did our best to fight this back, and we had a small victory at the July 6th council meeting where we pointed out a procedural misstep and got the motion pushed to the Planning and Zoning Committee on a 7-2 vote. Now, unfortunately, this issue got so heated and so political, council members were buried in constituent communication. And when the motion made its way back to the council, it unanimously passed. Now, we really can't blame the council members. It would have been political suicide to vote against it. So that is in place currently in St. Charles. All right, moving on to our next issue, which takes us to New Orleans. Before I get into that, I just want to give a big shout out to M&M Glass. They've been working throughout the pandemic to provide safe and reliable service, which includes providing businesses with glass panels and guards to protect workers. We're very grateful to have them as a member, so check out the link below to learn a little bit more about them. Now, back to it in New Orleans, where we have some good news. Councilmember Joe Giarrusso offered an ordinance that would have increased trucking regulations and fees. It would have required any truck, meaning 2 or more axles, delivering construction supplies to a work site that is not directly located on a designated truck route would have to apply for a special permit and pay a tariff per trip. Now, we partnered with a diverse coalition including Adams and Reese, GNO Inc., the Black Chamber of Commerce, and others to highlight the unintended consequences of this ordinance. Ultimately, what happened is we worked with Mayor Cantrell, her administration, and Councilmember Giarrusso to commit to enforcing the existing regulations, which, trust me, is a far better scenario than if Councilmember Giarrusso's ordinance went into effect. All right, moving on, but we're not really getting away from Councilmember Giarrusso. We've been working on a temporary parking requirement surrounding the Uptown University area since March, and I'll pull it up on the screen here for you to see. So the parking requirements require a 1-to-1 parking space to bedroom match, whether it's new construction or renovation. So if you're building a double with 4 bedrooms in the affected area, then you'll have to build 4 parking spaces, which, if you know that area of New Orleans, it's essentially impossible because there's no space. So this is still a work in progress, and we're working with the City Planning Commission, the Greater New Orleans Housing Alliance, and Councilmember Giarrusso to formulate a more sustainable alternative. All right, so the last thing on our list is something that we have advocated against for years. That means 4, not 4. Which is mandatory inclusionary zoning. It's something that we've covered in many of our episodes, and last week we reached the end of the road. The last step in the process was to approve the mapping districts in the city. Now, the silver lining to it all is that the areas that are under mandatory inclusionary zoning are fairly limited. There's no doubt that if we didn't spend years poking holes in this policy, it would be far worse than what the final product is. In a way, we can finally close the IZ chapter in our book, but we'll be tracking its progress and participating in its biennial review. All right, folks, that is all. Thank you for sticking around. We covered a lot, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or send us a message. Thank you, stay safe, and until next time.